Hey guys, how's it going? AJ here. I'm here with Guillaume. Guillaume, you lead the way.
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is a welcoming webinar. Everybody give a great hand to AJ. He's gonna talk all about app marketing. As you know, here at CreateAppsHere, we try to help every entrepreneur that's into anything with mobile or web apps. And today, AJ is really gonna dig into, or at least give us a teaser of what he's going to talk about during the webinar on August 2nd. And today is just a teaser, so we'll only give you the highlights, like the high level content of what we're gonna share. So by all means, AJ, let the people know what you do, what your background is, and yeah, let it rip.
Okay, wonderful. So generally speaking, I'm what people like to call a serial entrepreneur and businessman. My love for mobile started around 2014 when I served as a VP marketing of Hits an App. Hits an App was a mobile game producer who produced a couple of titles such as Lucha Balls and Hey Badger. Uh, Naturally, only having a taste of mobile back in the day, it took a while to really understand what you need to do and what you shouldn't be doing when it comes to both App Store optimization as well as PR. Talking to the press and understanding that the press usually just writes whatever they want to write. So watch your words, guys, before you get get yourself interviewed on some high-level publication. Now, the main problem of indie. Okay, I'll continue talking about myself and then I'll delve into it. I started Appenue, which is my brand, founded in December 2015. We started out in mobile monetization. We actually had a technological solution called Effective, which was actually monetization for apps without source code. Now, if you guys are aware, if you worked with some app developers, usually on Fiverr or through other means, there was a reason why those apps were super cheap. They were cheap because you didn't have the source code. No source code equals no monetization, no money. So people that didn't have a source code couldn't monetize their app. Usually, it's something that happens on tertiary stores, such as the Baidu one or Samsung or whichever. Not the main ones, but the secondary or tertiary ones. So we started out with Effective, which had moderate success, but it was quite easy scaling it. It was quite hard scaling it up back in the day, so we didn't really continue with it. We made a pivot around a year afterwards, started doing mostly social media management. And afterwards, we understood that we had the power and the solution for small businesses and startups, especially app developers and web developers. This is my background. On one hand, counting those fingers. Well, we have a lot of either app developers or small businesses that want to produce new apps. They always say the same kind of thing, and you probably know what I'm talking about. We don't have a large publisher. Can we actually make money? This is a yes and no question. Yes, you can still make money. No, not necessarily the millions you are hoping to make, but you can still make some money until you get to the point that you can publish your own titles, either games or utility apps, whichever the case is. I'll just give you like a quick recap. Catch Up, which is one of the most scaling up publishers out there started out as a bootstrap business in Southeast Asia. They weren't big. They didn't work with Activision or with Blizzard or with King, whoever it was. And they started out what? Flappy Bird was the big thing, what, like 5 years ago?
Yeah, it was it was a while ago. But
That,
also let the people know what the story is behind these app publishers, because I think a lot of people only know like Google Play
yeah.
and iTunes Store. Other than that, people don't know what else is on the market.
Oh, okay. So the publishers themselves, it is a publisher's market today. Over 90% of the apps, at least, the good apps on the Play Store or the App Store slash iTunes are being published by large publishers. Now, the publishers do all the work for you. They have tons of sources. Either they have like marketing professionals doing the stuff for you, or they have like tons of money to spend on ads, and whichever. The trouble is that it's a rev share kind of thing. So rev share means that you need to split your proceedings with the publishers. If you have a good deal, then it's not too much. But if you don't have such a good deal, that means you're not making that much money. Now,
Yeah.
unless that app of yours makes $5 or $6 million a year in revenue, which is something most apps won't be able to do anyway, you're not going to be making a lot of money, and you won't be able to scale up that way. And you'll be at naturally the publisher's mercy. So we know there are two large stores. We have the Play Store, which isn't as stringent as the iTunes one. They don't do as much due diligence as the iTunes one.
Yeah.
And maybe this is why people say that it should be iOS first and not Google first. Even even though today it's a little different when it comes to monetization of single users, it's about the same kind of money here and there, where the Play Store is naturally much larger than the iTunes Store. Most people still use Android. Over
Yeah.
80% of the market is Android based. So you shouldn't just go iOS first, but you need to understand that there's a lot of clutter on the Play Store. Play Store has around 5 times as many titles on it in comparison with the iTunes one. Most of
Yeah.
them are not good.
Yeah.
And if you want to make sure that your app stands out, on the store or outside of the store, if you go to secondary stores like Samsung Store, Amazon Store, LG Store, or whichever store, you need to first of all have good App Store optimization anyway. So App Store optimization is the equivalent of um, search engine optimization, the SERPs. The SERPs are a little different. So you need to have good hashtags. You can use tools such as Hashtagify and others to find out the right hashtags to use. You need to have like a very succinct and abstract of what the app is doing, what it does in general. Have
Mhm.
someone that speaks English natively just do it for you. Nothing's worse than you know having all kinds of alterations and grammatical mistakes,
Yeah.
because that would flag you as either fraudulent or just like a bad app in general. Also, App Store optimization is not just that, it's also ranking. So if you have people that actually use the app and write good reviews and they give you 5 stars and up, then you can get to the point that you might be a featured app. Once you get to the point that your app is a featured one, then you're golden. It's
Yeah.
much easier scaling up.
Yeah.
Uh, what we're going to talk in the webinar in general next week is, first of all, debunking the myth that you need a large publisher to to be able to make some revenue or get to the point that you have exposure. You don't need to have a large publisher. It helps, but you don't need to, especially if you're not making a lot of money firsthand and you need to share it with a much larger publisher. And they won't be signing a contract for only one title. They
Yeah.
would be signing contract for a few more titles, and then you're compelled to create more than one title, which isn't that easy. That's first. Second, we will be talking about advertising. You don't need to just advertise. You don't need to just pay money to either Facebook, Facebook ads for
Yeah.
user acquisition, and you don't have to just do AdWords. First of all, tons of organic work. You can work with Pinterest, you can work with Instagram, you can work with everything and still not spend a dime and get people interested in your game or your app in general.
Yeah.
Do your due diligence, run your product market fit and not just your MVP. Don't be expecting people to, just say, look, it looks like a great app. What matters is the scale. If you have 100 people that like the app and you have 1,000 people that don't like the app, you, you won't be scaling upwards. It's not going
Yeah.
to work. Uh, you need to have the mindset for it. And this is something we're also going to talk about. We'll be talking about retention in general. People are surprised to know that Facebook isn't leading, the top 5 in retention. It's actually Twitter. Yes, surprise, surprise, it's actually Twitter.
Yeah.
And all the great publishers and all the great app developers are using Twitter. So if you're not using Twitter, now's the time. We'll be talking about branding in general for indie developers, which isn't something that is easy for most developers because they don't have any dedicated marketing and branding professionals. So branding in general is the way for you to continue getting users even without running any ads. Once you
Yeah.
get to that point that you have brand recognition and brand advocacy. Advocacy means that people are following your brand and talking on its behalf. People giving you reviews, testimonials, people telling their friends about your app, things like that. Once you get to
Yeah.
that point, again, you're golden. You just need to scale it up. Avoid talking to the wrong people and avoid running too many publications. Okay, don't just run to Entrepreneur magazine telling them about your app when you can't scale it up. They want to talk to people that were able to provide themselves with 150,000 users within 3 months. They don't want to talk to people that only have 150,000 users on an 18-month basis.
Yeah.
So don't just talk with everyone. You don't need to pay money to the largest publication just for them to give you some exposure. Scale it up and they'll be contacting you anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, use Medium, use Twitter, use your own blog, use Facebook engagement group, use LinkedIn, use Instagram. All of these can be used organically, so there's no need to pay money for it.
And I think one thing that people will find mostly interesting during this webinar is that they don't have to pay like elephant dollars for it. Like they don't have to really throw a major budget on promoting or marketing their app. And that is one of the key points that we'll talk about, and especially for the youngsters that just have that great idea, or the ones that are in the process of developing their app. This is definitely for you because AJ will really give you the ins and outs about this. And as you can hear, he's really knowledgeable about the topic itself. And especially if you're a rising star in the entrepreneurial world, you can really go very lean with your budget and really grow organically. And that's the key word, organically, so that you can bring your app to that next level. So for now, since this is the teaser, we'll have to close out for now, but keep in mind the actual webinar is on Thursday, August 2nd.
Yep, next week.
Exactly.
12,
August 2nd.
12 p.m. EST.
Yes, 12 p.m. Eastern time. And check us out on Facebook, check us out on Zoom, and we'll continue to promote this everywhere we can. You'll probably see this teaser video on LinkedIn, Instagram, and all over the place because we want to share this knowledge with you. AJ is taking the time to really share his knowledge with you. And at the end of the webinar, AJ and I have some great products that you can enjoy from us, some free, some on a discounted rate. And yeah, so tune in next week, Thursday.
Okay, awesome. See you guys Thursday.
All right, that's us signing off. See you guys.